Then come over to the drain valve and remove the hose clamp holding the drain pump to the drain valve at that point. You're going to remove the hose from the gooseneck connection. You're going to loosen up the hose clamp located at the drain valve. You're going to loosen the screw holding down the drain pump and simply remove the pump. Now that we have the drain pump removed, all you need to do is connect the drain hose, which is supplied with the dishwasher, to the three-way valve where you have removed the drain pump from. Also, remember that when converting a dishwasher to gravity drain, the floor drain or floor sink must be lower than the three-way valve. The CMA dishwasher will now be a gravity drain dishwasher, and the scrap tank at the front of the machine will no longer contain any water at any time. It will always go down the drain. Here we have the three-way valve removed from the dishwasher, so we can go over how it operates and how to change seals inside the valve. Once the valve has been removed, you want to loosen the 4 screws holding the valve to the body of the valve drive motor. You also want to take the spring, because it is spring loaded, it drives open and it springs shut. You want to move it to the top of the valve and loosen the connection screws holding the valve body in place. Now that we have removed the drive motor from the valve itself, we are going to open up the valve body, which is a split body designed for easy access and service. There are 4 screws located inside the bottom of the valve. Now that we have the valve body separated, you can see the valve hinge seal inside, as well as the main valve housing seal located here. You would take the valve seal, replace it, and then reassemble the valve body. Best way to do it is make sure that the connection point is crosswise with the valve, and then all you need to do is put the valve body back in place. Before tightening all of the screws, you want to load the spring tension back to the valve. You want to take the valve spring using the post that's provided and manipulate it to the top of the valve. Then tighten all of the screws, and the valve tension will always be on the valve at the upper right hand corner of the valve, and the valve is now put together. The wash pump is located directly behind both the three-way drain valve and the drain pump. To remove the wash pump, the first thing we need to do is to remove both the drain valve and the drain pump. I prefer to remove them as an assembly. Start with disconnecting the power from the dishwasher by turning off the main circuit breaker. Disconnect the 2 wires connected to the drain pump. Again, removing the hose clamp connected to the wash tank, the drain line for the gooseneck, and the 3rd line at the back of the drain valve connecting to the lower scrap tank. We're going to remove it as one complete assembly, leaving the drain pump and drain valve attached together for simple reinstallation into the machine. Here we see the wash pump more clearly, and the last thing to remove before we can get to taking out the wash pump is the water inlet assembly. To remove the water system assembly, you want to disconnect the screw holding down the support bracket, and then we're going to disconnect the stainless steel braided water supply hose that goes to the booster heater as well as the pressure gauge. Here we have the water valve assembly. You have the water valve. Again, it has a line strainer built into the valve to catch debris to keep it out of the water valve. You have the stainless steel Demo water valve. It's a 1/2-inch valve, stainless steel, and then you're going to remove the water line connected from the dishwasher. Remove it from the machine. Now you'll be able to see and access the wash pump more directly. You want to remove the bolts holding down the wash pump assembly itself. There's one located in the front of the pump, and there's one located at the back of the pump. And you can access either one of them through the sides, rear, or from the access panel underneath. There's an opening underneath the dishwasher. As well as you have a compression nut at the front of the pump where the intake is for the wash pump. It also can be accessed through the bottom of the machine. There is an access hole. We're going to remove the pump now. Here we have the wash pump assembly that we have removed from the dishwasher. This wash pump is a stainless steel pump, and it contains a stainless steel impeller. You want to remove the number 10 bolts holding on the pump head and remove the pump head itself. Here you can see the stainless steel impeller, which is held in place by the locking nut. To remove the lock nut from the front of the pump, at the rear of the pump, on the center of the housing, you have a large hole opening for a blade screwdriver. The screwdriver can be inserted into the opening, and you hold the motor shaft in place and simply remove the nut, taking off the impeller to get to the pump seals and the pump housing rear cover plate. And here you can see I've reinstalled the wash pump and the drain pump, as well as the 3-way drain valve. Remember, check all connections at the back of the machine. You'll have to either replace the tie wrap used or install a new hose clamp. You'll have to make sure that the drain pump is securely in place and the wires are tightened. At this point, if you did want to convert the machine to be a gravity drain, when finding a machine was not installed as a gravity drain, this would be a good opportunity to do so. Reconnect the wires to the drain pump. Make sure all the hoses connections are secure and tight so you have no leaking. Reinstall the water valve assembly, attaching the stainless steel braided hose to the front of the assembly.